Yes, yes.
Welcome to Il Palazzo di Lusso, sir.
Welcome to Il Palazzo di Lusso.
Hurry
Your
up,
room is
Sherlock.
upstairs,
I want
sir.
to see our room.
Number 221.
The view.
Perhaps, in the meantime, you would like to relax in the foyer? Tonight, the restaurant is offering a complimentary Marlin speed.
If seafood's not to your taste,
Hey, Sherry.
everyone loves
Just our luck.
Benedict's batch. Our
A
poached
medium,
eggs with
John.
hollandaise
Haven't we been
sauce.
through this already?
Come now, Sherry. What did he do to deserve that?
If seafood's not to your taste, everyone
Sherry,
loves
Cordell. The hand grip is a head of a golden Javanese statue, probably stolen from a temple. A crest depicting a bulb of garlic in a meadow, perhaps the Fielding family. The cane is made of ebony, it's worn uncared for, and bears the scars of numerous hits. This cane is an expensive and ostentatious weapon. Its owner must be vain, volatile, and of noble English blood.
Take it with you, Sherry. Let's return it to its owner. All right. I hope you noted down your observations in your casebook. But how are you going to find this nobleman?
The cane itself is not enough. I may have to ask other guests if they saw who was here. Is this familiar to you?
That's a question I can answer.
Well, even with your keen senses, Sherry, I doubt you'll find the cane's owner on your first try.
And would you be confident enough?
Why
Is
not?
this familiar
Let's see
to
how
you?
good you really are.
I'm sorry, but I've never heard of that.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
My dear fellow, you're talking to the right man.
Hey, Sherry, don't we now have the perfect excuse to visit the seance?
I'm just going to give the cane to its owner. You will not persuade me to take part in this show. The diamond was placed on the table. This must be the ectoplasm. Too bad there's not enough for a proper chemical.
Ectoplasm. The ghost was here, Sherry.
Half a glass of Balblair scotch and the remains of a poor Laranaga cigar. What else? There are light traces of rouge on the edge of this wine glass. It seems there may have been an unexpected visitor outside the window.
Ah, I hope it was the ghost of the Raja.
All right, John. Do you think a ghost could leave this footprint?
I'm reserving judgment. Use your keen eye to follow the trail. So, definitely not the ghost of a Raja? Unless...
May I ask you something?
No. What a shame.
You look like
Our
a
witness was a
man.
nosy maid.
I have some information for
Searching the entire hotel could be difficult. Perhaps the other maids can help us find her.
You lied to the poor girl, Sherry. What a tease. She'll dream about being a character of that book.
Surely a pleasant dream is better than no dream at all, John.
Oh, let's get back to the crime scene. I always love
Lady
seeing
Craven
you
retired to
explain
her room to
things
rest.
Simpletons.
Lord Craven remained here until the staff reported that the medium was locked in his room.
It all began when the lady screamed and pointed at the window. Lord Craven jumped up, ready to face anything, ghost or human. The medium shrank back in dismay. He was not expecting such a reaction and had to quickly hide the ghost. The lady was the only one left touching the diamond, at least until she fainted. Oh, I forgot that you were here. I guess I should discuss all of this with Lady Craven.
The Cravens are upstairs in room 226. It is one of our finest suites.
If the lady was touching a diamond, then she would have felt the ghost take it. What do you think it felt like, Sherry? A jellyfish?
Lady Craven?
Barely an hour has passed and you already have yourself a murder mystery, Sherlock. Why am I not
Someone was
surprised?
not happy with his post. Strangled with bare hands, judging by the bruises. Everything was tipped out of the bed as if it was searched.
Well, there is a professional medium right next door.
Fard Rouge Calomel Mascara, a real altar of beauty for the travelling temptress. Several £1,000, that's quite a fortune.
The mystery deepens. A victim with a checkered past and poor taste.
Can I ask you a question?
That's a question I can answer.
Mycroft was adamant that we leave for London immediately after the funeral. He never told me why, but I saw how unsettled he was by the long requiem. The service was sparsely attended. Though my parents were buried separately, the pastor said they're united in heaven. I didn't believe him even then. I wanted to see her one last time before the coffin was interred and say how I loved her. The chance never came. I feel rather faint. Rest in peace, Violet Holmes. Goodbye, Mother. A candle in a small puddle of wax. It cannot have been lit for more than half an hour.
Is this really how you want to spend this time?
This is my mother's pocket watch, John. Who put it here and why? Are you not in the slightest bit interested? A man in fashionable shoes stood near the tomb. The size of the prints suggest he is approximately 5.5 feet tall.
Be nice, Sherry.
Whatever I need, it isn't here. We should explore Cordona. Perhaps there are archives that may shed further light.
Hey,
Concentrate, Sherry. We need to hit every target to show the Sergeant how we do it.
Hooray!
Proceed to the next room.
Come on, Sherry. It's just like in childhood. Steady, Sherry. My favourite mannequins.
I could do this all day.
Please don't, Sherry. We don't have that much time. Let's move on.
Hooray!
All right. If you stand here and use your snapshots on them, you can definitely overcome them, Sherry. It's all calculated. Ah, Sherry, you've guessed that you can't use the powder when he has a helmet. I've
Move
been
on to
sending
the
you
next
brain
room,
signals.
new boy.
Helpful advice,
That's
John.
an
I would
order.
never have guessed.
Move.
Worried?
Not at all. I can hit them all with...
Good luck, Sherry, and remember...
I'm coming for you.
Don't bother moving. You've lost. No more crime for you and...
The snuff's ready. Time to knock this guy out. Don't give him the pepper snuff. Now you're a certified crime scene consultant. Congratulations.
Can you say... Thank you, my friend.
I know, sir. Someone
Now,
else might know more.
Shall we head for Stonewood Manor?
Don't know. You have the whole island to investigate. It's all up to you. Hey, Sherry.
After reading that,
That's
I
the
am
Mycroft
even
I
less
know.
eager to return home than
Predictable.
before. Let's investigate our manor. I did not expect these to still be here. It was enjoyable to practice using real
Hey,
handcuffs
that's
to make
Wooden
it
Joe. He was always the best at playing criminals.
an irreplaceable tool for catching a thief. And this must be the reason our suspect was apprehended. Wood and glass, very precious. The policeman brought us both home, John. That's why he was here.
I'm pretty sure he brought something else with him too. Do you remember what it was? I bet it was our reward.
No, we were not so lucky. It was a set of lockpicks that we had used to sneak into someone's house. That's why we were arrested.
Did someone come out to investigate all the commotion?
It was Mycroft. He smoothed things over and convinced the policeman not to press charges. The officer left and never returned. But we had to endure a serious talking to from my brother. Mycroft wasn't happy about the fact that we were arrested. It felt like he lectured us for hours.
Did we give him something afterwards, Sherry?
Oh, yes. Yes, now I remember. It was a letter. That's why we snuck into the house. Mycroft asked us to. He wasn't angry we stole, but that we got caught.
Oh, that's right. It must have been only a couple of months after we moved to Cordona. Ugh, the good old days. Home sweet home, Sherry.
One of the first things I saw when
And I was wondering why it's so empty in here.
Mycroft's umbrella, the only outgoing thing in his wardrobe. Hey, this is the luggage we brought from London, isn't it?
Another memory incoming, Sherry.
Strange, I struggle to recall anything about the day we moved in. The only detail I'm sure of is that it was raining early that morning. This trip was a challenge for our mother. I tried to help. Our mother brought a slew of belongings with her. There was always a hat on our stand, but I'm sure it did not belong to Mycroft.
Do you feel it? Is it the air shimmering, or is it my imagination?
Your neighbors will be told that Mrs. Holmes is suffering from tuberculosis. It is common to move closer to the sea in such cases.
Thank you, Dr. Richter. No, Sherlock, step away from her. Upstairs, go to your room.
Lean on me, Mother. Take your time.
Actually, I never heard her coughing. I remember now. Look at this. It's like travelling 10 years into the past with a single step. Oddly satisfying.
Oh, it reminds me of our neighbour. He had the same balloon in his yard, only bigger. Do you remember?
Yes. We visited him several times while living here.
Wasn't that neighbour missing a finger?
That does sound vaguely familiar. Wasn't his name, Theodore? Theodore Gilden, perhaps?
It's the perfect time to investigate.
Oof, a contortionist you were not. Disjointed vertebrae. Difficult to say if it was a way to start or finish him off. A missing pinky. Middle-aged. It's none other than Theodore Gilden. A belt from a dressing gown. Curious. A kneecap reduced to splinters.
Oh boy, Sherlock. Another death means another question.
And we shall answer the question. It's far too interesting to give it up to the police.
Poke the elephant with this.
A strong
Really?
pull broke this
People are hopeless.
leash. A pool of blood and saliva, possibly as a result of impact.
Sherlock, take a picture of the footprint. It's valuable evidence. This photograph can help us find the old article about the elephants. The front page was fascinating. It was hard to believe as a child.
True. We may need it in our investigation. Fresh signs of impact. A rough landing led to an altercation with this. A coal gas tank. Enough to pump up an airship. In a fit of rage, the elephant broke the chain and threw its victim on the ground with a fierce power. Escaping the scene, it pulled the body with it, but dropped it at the gate. At least some of this was witnessed by a third party who was hurled against the shed.
Well, suppose you find it. Then what? Push it all the way back to the manor?
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
That's a question I can answer.
Strange. It was hung with care. The game has escaped us for now. We'll find a solution to the elephant problem later. Yeah. She packed as much as she could carry. She packed as much as she could carry.
What did you say?
Speaking aloud helps me think. A commendable effort to barricade the windows. The nicest spot in the room. Mr. Gilden spent hours of his...
Did Theodore seek some pink elephants with this?
A relatively functional choice to replace the finger.
I'm hurt.
Quite the spectrum.
Holmes's desire to rake up the past is hereditary.
What's so special about this place? Another elephant? A catchy title. A partnership annulled with a single stroke of a pen. I should take a photograph of the plans. I don't want to carry them around. His second child? An apparent son and heir, I'd say.
Looks eccentric and smells eccentric.
Lovely.
Excuse me, just one question.
That's a question I can answer.
Bloodied bandages. Has someone been hurt?
Where would a champion hide a key?
Shipbuilding, shipwright's tricks, sail weaving. An expensive set of tools for woodwork. An amateur wouldn't know how to use these. To earn big, you have to spend big. Mr. Gilden wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty. Old betting slips. Paul always bets on Whirlpool. One victory after another. Bloodied bandages.
Should have a warning to cover your ears.
For you. I'm coming.
Take a rest, my friend.
I'm coming for you.
Too simple.
The snuff's ready. Give him the pepper snuff. You can overcome the brute now.
Take a rest.
The snuff's ready. Time to knock this guy.
Too simple.
Dodge this! I couldn't miss the party.
Don't bother moving. You've lost.
Give him the pepper snuff. It's all yours now.
I'm coming.
No more crime for you until next month. Don't cry, you'll live.
The snuff's ready. And there's no reward for risking our lives.
Paul's explanation will suffice.
I don't know what you're suggesting. I'm clueless.
He's even been putting up.
Does it look remotely familiar to you?
Should it?
With your love for archives, you would have made the perfect bureaucrat.
contest for the guests of Cordona. Fine.
From day to night.
The market square, beating heart of the old city.
I wonder if they still sell that.
Don't miss.
A good choice.
Come, decorate your house.
Not bad.
Stop!
Newcomer, talk to the professor first.
Straw dolls. Eerie, but effective for a scene recreation.
Oh, I want one of these. Or two.
Oilcloth. Won't fade and waterproof. Enough here to make 10 sails and more. Somehow the text remains legible. A sickle for harvesting. The ancient Romans honoured the seasons. A goddess? A mother? Someone's wife? There were 4 statues here originally.
I wonder what the 3 other statues look like.
Swift lost his temper when he learned.
Vitus rests nearby. Beware the one who wishes to disrupt his sleep, for he is guarded by the gazes of his brother and the autumn wind.
Take a shovel and dig. Don't touch anything here. Get back to work.
Plan for this whole operation. I see now. Mr. Swift didn't realize the significance of the statues. This reminds me of my father's room.
Take a shovel and dig.
It seems everything's in place. Now, let's see what this has to tell us.
Moving on. Moving on. Moving on. I'm a busy man. I'm a busy man. Moving on. Moving on. I'm a busy man. Moving on. I'm a busy man. I'm a busy man. I've nothing to add. Moving on. I've nothing to add.
This fabric will work. It might fool an elephant.
Mrs. Neely seemed to know her sewing inside out. I bet she missed us.
I hope Miss Nini won't misunderstand me.
He's even putting up posters.
something... It injured itself while running through the forest. Peaceful and compliant, almost a gentleman. The left tusk is larger and more worn. You're a left-tusked elephant. You were... She said it was a birthday present from a good friend. I just had another glimpse of a memory, John. It's fuzzy, but I'm sure it happened somewhere in the manor.
Finally moving forward. Shall we go? You know, I envy you, Sherry. You can talk to other people and they won't ignore you.
And I envy you. You can ignore any person you're bored with. You don't miss out on much. Most men are dull, unlike yourself.
Well, I'm flattered.
I had a surprise for my mother. I was holding an ancient Greek vase, or rather, you had a shovel with you, John. I remember now, we dug up the vase from Greek ruins here on Cordona and were eager to show my mother right away. For some reason, the door was closed. We knocked.
But nobody answered. We thought that she was busy.
So we left the vase and ran downstairs. I decided to gather some archaeological tools in order to take a closer look at the vase.
But then we heard something, didn't we?
Yes. It came from upstairs.
The vase was broken, shards scattered all over the floor. And your mother was standing at the door.
Indeed, John. I doubt it was her. Let me concentrate. Otto Richter was standing there, furious at us. Dr. Richter told us never to disturb my mother when the door is closed. He said she had broken the vase.
But we didn't believe him. I bet he smashed it.
Straps on the bed. Just doesn't look right. This room always reeked. Looks like it was damaged by a blunt object.
Look what I found. You're not obliged to be here, Sherry. We can leave any time you want.
It's a strange feeling to read about my father's death in the newspaper. I can't recall anything except the deep feeling of loss.
You were too young. It happened before we even met. It's so sad. I'm sorry. Do you think the doctor could have used these tools here? I hope not.
Oh, it brings back some memories. This room always reeked with an acrid medicinal stench.
Oh, I would love to take a bath
Here is
right
the
now.
reason. Not this one. Surface corrosion suggests it was prone to extreme temperature fluctuations. For medical purposes, I suppose. My mother loved flowers. They made her smile. I remember we would
Sure,
bring a new
you saved the
bouquet every
king,
week
but
to
that's
make-
no checkmate shit. That's why we collected all the violet flowers we could find on the island.
Bars covering the windows from the inside. The broken plate shards were all over the floor. Mother was troubled that morning. Something we did upset her. Dr. Richter, we had to put the tray with Mother's morning tea down, but why? It's starting to... ring a bell. I think it happened in the morning.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
I don't believe you! Liars! Get away from me! It's not true! It's not real!
What? Oh.
Everything will be okay, Sherry. I promise.
It was the morning of the 9th of April, the day my mother died.
Sherlock Holmes.
Merhaba.
You sure you don't like art, Sherry? Back home, we've got a taxidermist. He's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what I bring him.
Closed with a metal bolt. Footprints. Size 9.5. Old and hasn't been used for a long time. The left step's length is shorter than the right. It indicates that the walker was lame.
Sherry, how about some company in that dreary chamber of yours?
Leave my loneliness unbroken, John. A handprint of the thing from another world. But it looks fresh, and its coal origin ruins the effect of the extra mundane. Ugh, sheer vandalism. Only an ignorant person could do such a thing.
Back home, we've got a taxidermist. He's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what I bring him.
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the hatch bolt. He accidentally pushed a shovel to the floor. Vogel heard the noise. At the sound of his approaching footsteps, the intruder hid inside the coffin. When Vogel entered the basement, he failed to notice anything strange and left without properly checking. The intruder waited until Vogel had left the caravanserai before burning the paintings in Wilde's room. But the vandalism was a cover for the theft.
Don't miss. Let's pick something that suits you. Don't leave. Take one more look.
He's even been putting up posters, poor man.
Extra, extra! Dilemma in deluso.
Mr. Holmes, I have something for you.
Don't miss...
A good choice. A good choice indeed.
Nasılsın? Merhaba.
The wound is precise. It was inflicted by a razor or a knife. Judging by post-mortem rigidity, the body lay here for 1 or 2 days, soaked in blood. It seems as if the puddle of blood was here before the rags. The blood has dried.
I've heard of this style of painting. It is called Expressionism.
It appears the wine was truly awful. I wonder where he got that fancy camera. Despite the overall tendency towards mess, you cannot sit with the drawer pulled out like this. Someone left it after searching. Aunt May whiskey, brandy bucks. Quite a collection he had here. The chest has been searched. Red skin, tails on the back. Reminds me of Werder's description of the stolen painting. The photograph was not pulled. Mercurio was developing photographs when the intruder snuck in. Mercurio heard him coming. While the thief was searching the chest, the painter ran towards him with a bottle in his hand. He smashed it across the thief's head. The intruder had no choice but to defend himself, and the weapon of opportunity happened to be a kitchen knife. Mercurio stepped aside to grab the painting, but the wine-blinded thief attacked Mercurio's throat. When the thief came to his senses, he saw Mercurio bleeding on the floor. He grabbed the rags and tried to bandage him, but it was too late. Why did Mercurio attempt to snatch the painting in the middle of a fight? To strike the intruder? Not with his painting, it was too important to him. It's time for some chemical magic, John.
That doesn't look like the painting we need, Sherry.
As expected, but that doesn't mean it won't tell us anything.
Phew.
You did everything.
Clothes.
Beasts!
Murderers!
They're completely livid.
Drop them all into the sea!
So they keep these refugees under a bridge like Here we go again. Number of
Clearly
hours
a
on
left
Cordona
handprint
for
here.
Stumbling upon another dead body. 0.
A furrow in the ground. A blood trail leading to or from the canal. Someone bled profusely here. A fresh crack, as if the crate was hit recently.
These events have fractured into so many pieces. But I know you can collect them all, Sherlock.
Malpal, soaked with salt water. A simple leather sheath. Perfect for a dirk. £1,000. A fair sum, especially considering British currency isn't very common in Cordona. An interesting tattoo. Does it mean something? I'd say the blade penetrated upward, however the wound is too messy to be certain. Heavy boots, with one sole far more worn than the other. This man was limping John. A violent death. But this man, limping, coal dust. I think we're onto something here, John. Oh, carnelian agate beads, a traditional African adornment. The blood sprayed off the blade after the strike. The cut is deep, potentially serious if not treated immediately. He is in shock, feverish and dehydrated. Someone was dragged against their will. You know what? I'd like to understand.
What?
How did our dead man end up inside the camp in the first place? Roadman cigarettes. A brand highly regarded by law enforcement officers. So there wasn't any sophisticated infiltration plan. The good old police just let the man into the camp. Now we have everything we need to... So, we have a thug who came to take a refugee woman with him. She resisted, but he dragged her by force. One of the refugees stood in his way, armed with a stick, yet he could do nothing against a cutthroat with a blade. The man didn't anticipate that the other refugees would intervene and stand against him. In the confusion, the woman managed to break free. The thug took fright and fled. He was stopped by the falling crates. He stumbled and fell, piercing his chest with his own blade. However, the wound didn't cause instant death. He managed to stand, but still bleeding, he lost his balance on the bridge and fell.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword. In our man's case, you think one small clock...
You're disturbing a hornet's nest here, son.
Who knows, John? Just one ill-fitting cog could make the whole machine crumble.
Glad that wasn't me.
Not my best work, John, by a long shot. Naylor doesn't want us meddling. I'm starting to wonder what this all achieves.
But she helped you anyway.
You're disturbing a hornet's nest here, son.
I owe you a lot, Mr. Holmes.
Sherry, wait. You might... Sometime... You're too much like your older brother, and at the most inappropriate times and places. What a lovely man this Bernadotte is, eh, Sherry? Can't wait until we get to meet him. What makes you think you...
Such...
Just look at this thing. It's huge.
A bizarre object, and yet oddly familiar. I remember returning home with a pair of perfect sticks. We wanted to turn them into training swords.
Oh, that's right. We stood there, frozen, staring at something huge in the main hall. It was a giant aquarium with a living mermaid in it.
Impossible, it must have been something else. Oh, of course, that mortifying hoax presently taking up space in our front yard.
Well, fine. Your memory's better than mine. But I'm sure we started examining it immediately. And someone else was around too.
It was my mother. She asked what I thought of the artifact.
You were really concentrating and holding something in your hand.
I inspected it with a magnifying glass and was able to confirm it was made of two different skeletons. The mermaid was a fake.
And so it was time to smash the thing. Your mother took a hammer and...
Slow down, John. That's not how it happened. I remember other people joined us. The workers took the artifact and placed it into the cabinet of curiosities. It became part of Mother's collection of fakes. She always said that the truth lies in the details. This mermaid helped me to learn that. Ah yes, my mother's studio. She was an authenticator and this was her cabinet.
I never saw the point.
Blanket.
What does it matter if some artifact is real? Wigwam! Oh, that was a joy to build them.
Reliable.
Imagining ourselves as wayfarers on the other side of the world.
So many calling cards. Mycroft liked to keep useful people at hand. This drawer was always closed. Only Mycroft knew how to open it.
I remember we tried to break it open and spy on him, but alas, had no success. Maybe today's the day. Oh, Sherry.
Clearly, it was deliberately torn. I wonder why someone would do. The full plate armour of Sir Robert Saunford. I was told my father won it in a wager.
Armour is armour, but look at his sword. Oh, how badly I wanted to wield the blade. Maybe you take it instead of your pistol.
I'm starting to remember something. Ah, the memory comes back. We snuck about watching him.
He closed the drawer and went to the hall. We were like two shadows crawling behind him.
The painting on the wall was slightly at tilt. He stopped and straightened it. Then he threw some logs into the fire and sat in his armchair to read.
It's as boring now as it was then. I'm sorry, Sherry, but I think that's it.
Wait, John, we never use the fireplace in the mornings. What if... A bit of juniper in the fireplace created a soothing atmosphere. It's the little... I think this is what we're looking for.
We made it. So what's there?
Dossiers on the most influential people on Cordona. Mycroft always had a habit of building files on everyone he met. I used this ladder to look at the top shelf, right? On the day of Mother's breakdown upstairs.
Right you are, Sherry.
We heard a noise. I can't recall of exactly what, and we didn't have a great view from behind the statue. Books and papers from the table somehow ended up on the floor. Now it's coming to the surface. I feel it.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Come on, Sherry. Let's go outside. Wait. Did you hear that? Come here, Sherry.
You call this progress? Charlatan, amateur. I'm not letting you anywhere near my mother again.
So there was a quarrel between them. I heard a noise in the hall. Let's check it out. Sherry, look! An invitation that comes with a mask. We can't miss it.
Extra, extra! Elephant adopted!
Welcome, sir. I do hope you enjoy yourself.
What if I write an article about this? My goodness, Sherlock, they made a blood fountain.
This crude tattoo partially covers a slave branding. A blunt-force trauma may have suffered an internal hemorrhage. This worm-like sigil has been drawn with his own blood. The victim has clenched the fabric so firmly in his fist that it's nigh impossible to remove it. The wound is deep. A precise strike reached the heart. He died right here. Enough cigars to burn down the entire mansion. An open wound spoiled the carpet. Why don't people tidy up after themselves? The wounded person was here for some time. A bloody handprint on an armchair. The pitcher is empty, but with puddles around it. Blood clots are adhered to the sides of the drain. Identical to the robes the guest, props, decorations, and tools for a more detailed set. This is a different ritual.
How can anyone accept such behaviour?
A useful tool for a disguise arsenal. Handcrafted and luxurious cufflinks. There's also a note. For my Fabio, Manchos.
Would you recognise me in one of these? I suppose not.
Similar to the guests' robes, apart from the bloodstains. A person leaned against the doorframe. They left a smudged trail of blood. There appear to be no further traces leading to the altar.
So, Sherry, do you have any ideas about the case?
Perhaps. I think I can deduce what happened here.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
The bottle was used as a weapon during a scuffle in the smoking lounge. Then, to ensure no one would interrupt, the murderer locked the door. The unconscious body of the victim was moved to the altar room. Once the body was on the altar, the murderer thrust the dagger into the victim's heart. Symbols were drawn with the blood. The wardrobe was used to hide the bloodied robe from anyone's eyes. The killer washed himself and took a clean robe from the hanger before leaving.
Are you all right? You're on the floor. Not moving.
I'm starting.
Sherlock, don't forget to find the information I need before the guests leave. We should have listened to the guests there. Now I have nothing to write about.
Back on track to solve the case.
Look, I found Werner.
Did you hear?
Don't waste my time. Don't waste my time.
All the keys of the mansion on one golden ring. A heavily perfumed handkerchief with the initials KM in the corner. It's a miracle this ruby hasn't tempted anyone. Not the time for privacy. An emergency kit for boredom. Werner's personal sketchbook. A handcrafted charm that contains hair and nail clippings. Her key to the altar room. The book describes a ritual similar to the one performed in the altar room. Thank you, officer.
Did you hear?
That's not something I know much about. I've no idea about that. You'd better ask someone else. That's not something I know much about. That's not something I know much about. You'd better ask someone else. You'd better ask someone else. I can't wrap my head around such a tragedy at my party.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I've nothing to say. I don't know what to say.
I'm not supposed to know anything about this. I can't follow you here. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I'm not supposed to know anything about this. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I can't follow you here.
I'm doing my part. You should do yours too, Holmes.
The air here is rather refreshing. I'd even recommend that some of my friends visit the place.
I know I can handle the news.
I can't wrap my head around such a tragedy at my party.
I recognize the key from the altar room among these.
I've no idea about that. Please let
me out.
Garden. There's a garden behind...
Sherry, it looks like you've...
Did you hear, Basilio?
John. Why didn't I remember we had such a big garden?
Maybe you forgot it for your own good.
Ah, yes. The statue of Mercurio. My mother was trying to restore it. Pity she never had the opportunity to finish. Is that the raft we made together, John?
Looks more like a pile of rotten planks now.
Come here, Sherry. Hurry!
What are you thinking about? Is everything all right?
I remember this artifact from Mother's collection. Mother's work journal. I liked poring over the detailed pages and reading about my parents' collection.
Did you hear that? Someone's...
Sherry, say something. Can you hear me? You're scaring me.
I'm waiting for you. Sherlock? I'm here, come closer. Take me to my flowers, Sherry. They must already be in bloom.
As you wish, Mum. I bet you missed the fresh air, didn't you?
Terribly. The sun is far brighter than I remember. But I like it.
We can walk each day from now on, if you want.
That would be wonderful.
Indeed. Mother, would you like to go around the water?
That would be perfect. I always wanted such a nice pond in London. It looks so peaceful.
Mycroft knew you would like it.
We should put some fish in it, don't you think?
How about some carp?
That's a nice idea. Let's visit your father's tree. It grows so fast, just like you.
We could even build a tree house in it.
Yes, Sherry. Speaking of your father, could you call him out, please?
Mom! He's... I'm sorry. He passed away. He's gone.
My brother returned to London soon after our disagreement. He enrolled at Cambridge University but attends only the rare